No.
Do you think the No King's March made like embolden
Roger.
the right?
Since we're on the countdown, we'll talk about this after. It's a good question though.
Countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, this
Okay,
is
hit it. Okay. Can't hear you, Joe. You're muted.
Well, let me start all over again.
Thank you.
That would be good because like I was a little lost.
It's a little too subtle. Good evening and welcome to the After Hours Show. My name is Joe in Norway. I'll be your baker this evening. Hag Sameach, Hag Pesach Sameach, Happy Passover, Happy Good Friday in these genocidal times. Yes, I'm joined by Ann Lee, a retired college professor, a community member of the Daily Coast, and they're a member of the National Council of Independent Scholars and is a contributor to the book, The Political Economy of Art, Making the Nation of Culture. And we're also joined by Arjun from the Deep Into History pod. Good evening, y'all.
Good evening. Nice to be coming live from Cargo Island.
Or LaRock Island,
Lord,
whatever.
Love. Lord
Or
love. Yes. Well, it's Pesach, Passover, and the holiday that is spawned out of the Exodus story in the Bible. I've got the Torah here. I've got the Jerusalem Bible. It's got the ancient Hebrew and English on the other side. Thought I might read a little bit from it this evening.
That's beautiful, and as always, epic mise en place. I'm telling you, man, start a TikTok. What's wrong with you?
We will. I talked to the missus. We'll sort it out. We gotta.
Blessing the mise en place. Anyway.
I've got to stall for time because I forgot to turn on our hot plate, our stones, and our oven. So
don't worry,
Pesach.
it's not like we like nothing happened in the last week.
Well, I mean,
Oh man,
I don't know if should I cover something related. I don't know. You know, I'm not a baker. I don't really like baking, but the concept of making matzah, unleavened bread. So for Pesach, you have to clean out your house of all leavened breadcrumbs. It's a way for you to do your spring cleaning. So I mean, not all.
I guess.
biblical, the kosher rules. They make sense if you think about it. You don't want to eat shellfish because you can mostly die if they don't have proper handling and refrigeration and whatnot.
Joe, do you know
Well,
the history of Passover and matzah?
well, I know a little bit about it.
Please do tell.
Um, I hope everybody is not wearing blended fibers. And you left your unleavened, you left your leavened breadcrumbs at the door. This is a clean space, so we've got a completely sterile place. There's no spores. I just have wheat flour and rye flour, two of the five sacred flours. There's barley, oat, and spelt were the other ones. Spelt is too expensive but tasty. Wheat is bland but has gluten. Rye, we've got flavor. The concept of matzah was that the Jews coming out of Egypt, escaping from slavery, traveling across the Sinai desert, had no time to bake properly leavened bread, and they only had flour and water, and they baked them on the blazing hot desert stones. And several centuries and the millennia down the way, you get to this wild technique of making matzah for Pesach. Is there a rabbi in the house, by the way? I think we're just missing one thing. Or is the okay?
Is
Is there
Lane
a
here?
is
Rabbi
there a
Lane?
Jew? Is there a Jewish atheist? The next best thing. Anybody that could bless the flowers here, and then we're kosher for Pesach. Um,
I
it's
played one
okay
on
to blend.
TV, Joe.
Well, it sounds like you're up.
Bless this mess.
No, no,
What?
no chametz, no chametz, no chametz. Chametz is the fermentation or the beginning of fermentation. So uh, the making of the matzah is about suffering and haste, pressure, and you're basically making a cracker in a short amount of time.
Speed.
18 minutes, in fact. You have
Yeah.
18 minutes from water touching the flour to kneading to rolling to baking. The matzah must be
Wow.
finished within 18 minutes.
Yeah, and like it's sort of hard. That was wonderfully told, Joe. It's sort of hard to imagine that like how integral bread itself was to ancients.
Oh,
Like that was the
Mm.
main like your main part of
Mhm.
food for
every
life.
meal. For like yeah, for life. So for you can in matzah itself because it's unleavened, you can sort of almost like feel and taste the tension. They did not have time to make this
And
most important thing
uh,
rise and become substantial.
uh,
Instead, they had to leave it like
Mm.
or
flat and just keep
the gluten
going,
to
keep
develop.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's kind of cool how like some food resonates with history.
Yeah. So the chametz or the fermentation that you're trying to prevent by keeping it on. So 18 minutes is apparently uh, the uh, the point in which it begins to ferment. The flour
Mm.
and water starts to ferment. So you have to get it symbolically. You have to deal with it before that time. I can't imagine they'd be doing this in the middle of Sinai and be so rushed, even if the Egyptians are on their ass. But the curious thing about matzah is that it is nearly identical to Norwegian flatbread,
Mm.
which was in the Middle Ages, the Bronze Age, was bread. They basically make these round um, crackers, which were paper thin, and they'd stack them and store them because they'd be dry, so they'll keep for a long time. And it's essentially just rye or oat flour, wheat flour combined with salt. Oh, but the difference in matzah for Pesach is that there is no salt, or you shouldn't use salt. Now, if you're Ashkenazim, you would not use salt. The Sfaradim, coming from Yemen, Iran, or
Morocco.
Morocco, you can use salt. I mean, of course, flavor. I mean, there's no comparison between Ashkenazim and Sephardim food. It's like flavor. Of course, salt helps, but the reason it's in Sephardim matzah, you can have it apparently on most days of the Pesach, but on the Seder, you don't use any salt. So it's kind of salt is too nice. You're supposed to be suffering a little bit here, right?
Joe,
So-
did you say you needed a cracker? Because I think I qualify for that.
So what I'm so I'm going to be doing matzah with 90% wheat and 10% rye, because the rye adds flavor, and the wheat will make it a little bit crispier. What Norwegian flatbread uses mostly rye, but it has this problem of being highly absorbent of water. So the ways that these two flours interact with water is radically different, and this one becomes gummy. I can't remember the term. It's some kind of viscous kind of. It's not a slurry, but they're close to when it becomes a slurry. It becomes a slime. It's more slimy and gummy, and then sticks to the table. So my major problem, besides getting all the shit done in 18 minutes, is to get it as paper thin as possible and be able to peel it off. That's not a problem technically, but getting it to peel off the paper or the table is a completely other story.
Well, you should worry about that because we're all going to be judging you now.
So I've got the rye and I've got the wheat flour. Oh, John, what do we have here? Afikomen. Oh, so the broken little piece that was hidden for the little kids. Now we can finish our job here.
That looks great, though. Come on.
Oh. But this time I was reading, as you do, reading the Bible the other day. And I opened up Hebrew the other direction. This is the Torah. Can you see okay? There we go.
Yeah.
It's reading in shit. In the book of Yehoshua, Joshua 23. Oh, one moment, you guys butt in. I need a drink. I can't read when my mouth is dry from the.
Your mouth might be dry because you were scratching the Bible with what appears to be a cat paw back scratcher. So this might be a spiritual attack.
Thanks for the reminder. I was sorry. I didn't mean to be degrading the Bible here.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Obviously.
I don't have my pointer. So
that's
John,
much better.
I'm not sure I'm going to change your mind about coming back to the faith.
Right.
But
no spoilers, Joe. I haven't gotten to the end of it yet.
Okay. Well, let's
wait.
see.
If you can convert John right now, like I'm so here for it. Let's go, Joe. Come on.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see that.
And it came to pass, and long time after the Lord had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, that Yeshua became old and stricken in days, And Yeshua called for all Israel and for their elders. Oh, I should have had my glasses. And for their heads and for their judges and for their officers, and said to them, I am old and stricken in days, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done to all these nations because of you. For the Lord your God is he that has fought for you. Behold, I have allotted to you these nations that remain. Now he's speaking about the land of Canaan, right? After they've been, this is after being sent out of Egypt. These nations that remain to be an inheritance for your tribes from the Yarden, that's the Jordan River, with all the nations that I have cut off, even to the great sea westward. And the Lord your God, he shall expel them from before you and drive them from out of your sight. And you shall possess their land as the Lord your God has promised you. Be therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, that you turn not aside from it to the right hand or to the left, and that you come not among these nations that remain among you, neither make mention of the make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, nor serve them, nor bow yourselves down to them, but cleave to the Lord your God as you have done to this day. For the Lord has driven out from before you great nations and strong, but as for you, no man has been able to withstand you to this day. One man of you would chase 1,000 for the Lord your God. He it is that fights for you, and he has promised you. Take great care, therefore, to yourselves that you love the Lord your God, for if you should at all turn back to attach yourselves to the remnant of these nations, these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations before you, but they shall be snares and traps to you, and a scourge in your sides, and pricks in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God has given you. And behold, uh, that's some crazy shit, huh? And
What?
behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you all know in your hearts and in your souls that not one thing has failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spoke concerning you. All have come to you, not one thing has failed. Therefore, it shall come to pass that if all good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God promised you, so shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things until he shall have destroyed you from off this good land which the Lord your God has given you, if you should transgress the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and you should go and serve other gods and bow yourselves down to them. And it goes on and on, more or less the same. Now, I'm thinking Bibi, maybe he isn't such a non-religious. I mean, sounds like they're fulfilling prophecy or practicing the same shit.
I just want to know where 18 minutes is in the does the Torah say it's 18 minutes? Does the
No,
Bible talk about the 18 minutes?
that came later.
Oh,
But
It's in the 18 minutes is in the Apocrypha. Anyway.
Yeah, and for anyone who is just joining, before we started recording, Joe warned us that he was going to get biblical at the beginning. But what I'm wondering is, Professor John, are you feeling any kind of like spiritual warmth, or are you starting to glow?
Are you getting medieval?
I wouldn't use those words, Arjun, but it sounded like was this the part of the Bible that serves as the land deed for Israel?
Yeah, it does.
It's the
It's
land claim.
interesting. I mean, you'll be glad to know that. Well, I think I'll get into it here in a minute. Let's see.
Because that hasn't caused any problems.
None,
No.
none at all.
Oh, where did I put it? Is this it? Let's see. No. We've got a moment here. Well. Anyways, I mean, we've got dear leaders talking genocidal talk, bombing back to the Stone Age.
Mm.
Yeah, so
So I thought we would go back
if
to the Bronze Age, late Bronze Age.
no, I love it. It's good. It's really cool. Start a
So
TikTok, like I said. What's wrong with you?
so apparently, uh, there's not confusion. It's not quite clear in the archaeological record. What it looks like is that the Israelites didn't so much get thrown or cast out of Egypt as were uh, within the land, and there may have been civil war, and that was where the Exodus story comes from. But it looks like it was uh, hill tribes that eventually, culturally, their traditions overtook the greater land over many
Mm.
hundreds, thousand years, or whatever like that.
Yeah, which
But
happens with like, all like sort of ancient traditions or like religions or texts that have
mhm,
survived, and, people adhere to them. They all have like grains of truth in his like rooted in archaeology, like you said, or historical
mhm,
fact. But if you read it, it's like it you can just kind of see how it grows over time into this saga when it was probably like, although epic and very important, rather mundane and not so mythical, if you will.
mhm. So all of this talk by Trump about bombing back into the Stone Age, and the Pesach coming up, the story is kind of
Hell yeah, I want
weighing
to
on my
riff about
mind.
bombing back to the Stone Age. I got some
I
history for you
mean,
guys.
well, we've got President Masoud Pezeshkian of Iran commenting, does threatening to send an entire nation back to the Stone Age mean anything other than a massive war crime? This is the
Mm.
question I asked my Finnish counterpart, who is a jurist. History is full of those who paid a heavy price for their silence in the face of criminals. It- Hearing these words being spoken, but we do have international laws against such violence of speech. It's amazing that they can get away with this.
Well, there's been no accountability. So we're in capitalism is completely, basically, deregulated and unchained. And
Mhm,
so, so it goes like, no one, Obama turned the page. No one was held responsible for the lies, the sheer amount of lies and war crimes and just like literal crimes against humanity that happened
mhm,
during even the first few years of the world
mhm,
war on terror.
mhm,
And the lies that they were told to the public to sell the Iraq war, like those people should be buried under the Hague. But Obama turned the page. And what does that lead to? It leads to Trump, where literally you Trump's learned basically the lesson that it's impossible to hold a president accountable, because to hold a president accountable would to actually mean like a societal reckoning. You'd be holding the society, the way of life itself on, like, put it on trial. And so like the end result is now, no, they literally don't care. If you see like, I mean, I'm brain poisoned, so I consume way too much politics and information. But like when you hear like Hegseth speak, it is like it's like cartoonish, but it's also like crusader talk, and it's
Oh
terrifying
yeah.
that these people have like literally the control of the most powerful military in human history. And it came out, I mean, at least I heard it today. It came out this week that I think it was a New York Times talking about people who were in the rooms during the planning, like during subsequent to February 28th, in that weekend with Hegseth. And it turns out he was in complete and utter like shock and almost had a breakdown when Iran fought back. Like he literally thought a decapitation strike would work. It's stunning.
They were thinking it's just going to be another Venezuela.
Yeah, in
High
and
on
out.
their own supply.
A French general, I think it was today, made a comment on French news, and when asked about the possibility of this insane mission to send in special forces, create an airfield, and dig out the enriched uranium from the mountainside that they bombed last year, the French general said U.S. officials should stop snorting cocaine between meetings.
Yes. He's the same guy who said, this is like buying cheap tickets for the Titanic after it sank or whatever. That the same guy. He must be a really funny guy. They should put him on American TV.
Yeah, how come we don't have cool generals?
Yeah.
Well,
Joe, I think there's a thing. You've got a page that is
yes. So I don't
at the
know if
front.
anybody's come across this. It was published, I believe, September by the Lancet. They put out a study. According to multiple reports, a study published in the Lancet by the Center for Economic and Policy Research, CEPR, estimates that the unilateral sanctions imposed by the United States and the European Union have resulted in approximately 38 million excess deaths worldwide between 1970 and 2021. The key findings from the report. Now, that is a tremendous amount. That is like genocidal maniac numbers of the greatest killers in history. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. That's the point of sanctions, though. It's
The
basically
majority.
you keep putting pressure, and make conditions so bad that you force the people to want to overthrow the government. And then, in the case of like coups in South America, they have like a colonel or like some military officer ready to step into that void when the chaos starts. And that's how they overthrow
Mhm.
governments.
So
Yes, that's why they're firing all these generals, right?
Mhm.
They're prepping for our coup, the
Too
coup that's
woke.
going to happen in the U.S.
Uh,
Oh yeah, get all the woke people out.
Yeah, it's hideous what they're doing. I heard about that. Like, the Army Chief of Staff was fired this week. And
That's
I
right.
heard that the reason why was because he argued against Pete Hegseth canceling the promotion to general rank of two African American women, another woman, and I think an African American man. Because apparently,
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing, but apparently he said President Trump doesn't want to be filmed around these people.
Oh, right. He
And
doesn't want to be seen on stage with a black or a woman general behind him or next to him.
yeah, and he'd have to be there for the promotion board for general, right? Like that's a part of
So
like president's
so
duty.
so because racism.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Racism and sexism.
100%.
And I guess I guess Tulsi Gabbard is the next one up on in the bullseye.
She's such a loser. Oh my God.
Well, there were just let me drag you down a little bit more before I'm a bit stressed about making this matzah here. Let's see some key findings of the reported study include the majority of these fatalities occurred after 2000. After. So it began in 1970 to 2021. So 21 years. More than 1 million child deaths have been attributed to sanctions since 2012 alone. That was the Iraq ones, I assume. The study describes hunger and deprivations in intentional components of sanctions regime, not accidental byproducts. Sources reporting on the research include Al Jazeera and Progressive International and the Housing and Land Rights Network, among others. The study, we covered that. The verification of these secondary reports of the study, you'd want to access the original peer review. So I've got the link to the peer review if anybody's interested. The study uses economic modeling to estimate excess deaths attributed to sanctions-related factors, reduced access to medicine, food infrastructure deterioration, etc. Different methodologies can produce different varying estimates. This is a highly contested topic in international relations and economics. Some scholars argue sanctions are a necessary policy tool, while others emphasize humanitarian costs.
And there's also like this is a gross undercount when you consider the fact that sanctions, especially if it's like a socialist or anything to the left kind of regime, um, because the sanctions come in and there's so much hostility from it's not just the US. Europe always just follows suit. So it sort of strangles the nation and to stay in power, it sort of forces authoritarianism upon them, which causes even more deaths. It's it's a wicked system. And I don't know, like this
Well,
Iran war seems to be turning the entire system on its head, and I'm hoping that sanctions relief becomes part of this too. What do you guys think?
it's symptomatic of how sanction regimes are weaponized in that particular way. I think that's the kind of post-war environment where you actually have ways in which you can organize sanctions, and they can be enforced, and they're enforced at a financial level, essentially. I mean, when America lifts sanctions, like on Russia, it's the Treasury that lifts the sanction. So there's a whole, from a policy point of view, that's how the weapon operates, and the current war, has created a kind of windfall for at least the Russians, as well as the irony of lifting sanctions on Iranians so that they can move their oil is sort of the total, negation of why you bomb them. So there's this whole set of contradictions built into it, but it is a kind of feature of sanctions regimes that you can do these kinds of things. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a terrible way of trying to, deal with another government. Things like diplomacy could work as opposed to making people suffer.
Oh,
But
yeah. Well,
yeah,
it doesn't tie the two things together. That's the current problem, is that you have, UN things that deal with humanity, and then you have all this other kind of, monetary or financial policy that doesn't always operate in the same way. In other words, the UN doesn't control, and for the usual hegemonic reasons, the IMF and the World Bank or whatever, and all the the accounts thing and the Bureau of Settlements and all that other stuff. They exist separately. In other words, so if you're one of those kind of one world government types, you would really want this all to be better integrated, and maybe it would be better. On the other hand, there's all these people paranoid because, they, particularly capitalists, because one world government might take all our stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
If I could
it's
just add
insane
a
logic.
thought. I just wanted to add, it should not be up to one country to impose sanctions on another or a group of
Yes.
others. It should be determined by a body like the UN.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, the U.S. uses this as punishment. I'm sure the people in power don't believe that Cuba is going to change because of the sanctions we've had on them since the 1960s. It's
Just
simply
give it a couple
punishment.
of weeks, man.
Yeah. How dare they defy the empire? That's what this is
No,
about.
100%.
Well, what's frightening is that Trump's actions, all of his military actions in the second term, could be telescoping out to future leaders. Oh, we didn't need to do what we were doing before. We could just be outright genocidal maniacs.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, it is interesting. Sanction regimes are problematic because they can last a long time. It's like enforcing no-fly zones. A whole bunch of people died during the earlier no-fly zones during the Clinton administration. No one pays attention to that.
Oh, yeah, it's over Iraq?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was exactly what you're saying. If you want to see this in practice, between the first Gulf War and then 2003, the invasion of Iraq, was it, Prof. N, is it about 800,000 Iraqis died from sanctions?
Yes.
Over a
And
million.
it was, well, it's over a 4 or 5 year period. It was a very long period of enforcing, I don't have the data in front of me, but it was a very long no-fly zone, whatever that is. But it also constrained all kinds of other, traffic. And that's kind of what has been implied by the current war and the Straits of Hormuz, because they keep yakking about oil. It's really not about oil. It's about all those other things that have to go up and down, the Strait of Hormuz, and we sort of forget about that. But that's in fact the bigger result of all of these things. Other than we're in the U.S., we're just worried about whether Trump's being honest about anything, and how he's trying to, do whatever he's going to do at the current moment, which is apparently do stupid stuff, like the French general saying, these guys are snorting cocaine between their meetings on this, because apparently there was a plan, and I think it's a trial balloon, to seize the Iranian uranium,
Yeah.
and to put in a temporary. They're going to build. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, you can do it. That's what the U.S. did during World War II. You put a temporary airstrip in so they can fly it out. There's just it's sort of Rube Goldberg sort of at work, and so
But
the French.
I think Hegseth is probably thinking we have these awesome Ospreys. They never crash. So we don't actually need an airfield. So what we're gonna do is send in our elite forces.
Chopper in.
We'll chopper in a bulldozer. They'll go get this radioactive material, and we'll fly them out without irradiating the entire Persian Gulf, thus ending civilization.
Good luck with that.
Oh,
and yet the irony, of course. Well, sorry. I just wanted to close with that. The irony of doing that reminds us of the Carter administration attempt to free the hostages in Iran, because it was the failure of helicopters that screwed up that entire operation. But anyway.
No, 100%. You're absolutely right. The everything that's laid out, all these possibilities are just utterly insane. The French general was far more kind than I would be. I'm like, I would say those guys are doing coke during the meeting.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
think I'm about ready. I've got I blended my flours, not like our fabrics. Don't blend your fabrics, just your flours. Got the water measured out. So we've got 100 grams of flour, 42 to 48 grams of water. It should have like a 30% hydration. So it should be really tough to roll out. I don't know what's going to happen here. I've got my tokke, Norwegian hot plate griddle. We make lefse and flatbrød on.
Very
But
cool.
I've also got in the oven, I have a 250 or 60 degree oven. That's Celsius with a metal plate in there. So hopefully it'll, not sure if this is going to be hot enough to do it in enough time. The griddle, I don't think this is hot as the Ruox and the Sinai, but we'll see. We may transfer it. We'll get the nice brown burnt spots and then transfer it to the oven to finish up crisping. But I've got my matzah timer here. I've got my backup analog timer here. Let's see. I'll just hold it there. And I'll let you guys commence with the rest of the news. I race. Ready? Go.
Oh, it was a busy week. Needless to say. I mean, we had the Wednesday Trump speech, which essentially said nothing. He went through the same talking points. The mainstream media described it as low energy, but it was also in the evening. So, they've been trying to reduce the amount of exposure that Trump has to reality, or at least to be revealed to anybody, to sort of the mornings and afternoons, and they try and keep him out of the media in the evenings, unless he's doing one of his rally things. But for the most part, that's kind of, he was just trying to read the damn thing, and he really did a crappy job of it. So that's kind of where we are, and
Really,
there
that
isn't.
speech didn't remind you of like the epic speeches of Julius Caesar or Gaius Marius. I wanted to
Stirring
kill myself
oratory.
20 minutes in. I
Stirring
swear to God.
oratory.
It's just drivel.
I thought he was remarkably coherent, to be honest,
Yeah.
considering other speeches.
Oh, well,
I mean,
that's
for
true.
Trump, that's not wrong.
No, because he didn't do any of these heavy-duty digressions that he normally does. So, but the problem was, of course, that he coerced all the major networks, the U.S. networks, into giving him that time. So it disrupted their entire primetime programming on every major network, and they hadn't done this in a very, very long time in terms of giving a president, that kind of primetime access on short notice too. And so everyone got screwed on this. We had a bad
Well,
speech. We had,
It was
and
and
America
then,
got to see it. That's the most important thing.
well, yes,
America
that's the
got
most
to see
important thing.
just
Mhm.
what, a crazy guy he is. Thank God.
All
hope
it
so.
did was though reinforce that they didn't know what they were doing. There was no objectives. There's still no goal. He still can't explain what the outcome is supposed to be. And then of course they overcompensate the next day by blowing up a bridge in a double tap where they blew it once, and then there were people trying to help other people who'd gotten blown up on the bridge, and they hit it again.
these double taps, they're ubiquitous. They're doing them all the time. Literally like killing family members who trying to like, find their loved ones and rescue workers.
Yep,
It's disgusting. And it started from
it is.
day one when they bombed the girls' school, which was a double tap strike.
Right.
Documented by the New York Times, happened one strike and then 40 minutes later struck the exact same spot. They're like
They
this is a gigantic, like these people need to be buried under the Hague, and anyone running for a ticket next time needs to be talking exactly like I am.
Well, we're going to need truth and reconciliation, regardless. Uh, the current data, I think, is that somewhere around 400 or 500 educational institutions, schools, etc., have been hit by, whether it was collateral damage or something, but they've hit a lot of civilian stuff, and yet, you can say when he makes these threats, like on Wednesday, oh, we're going to hit their electrical their grid. That's a war crime too. There's this whole challenge, and as we were talking before about regimes, and the difference is, I think, the countries can do these sorts of things and not be held accountable for it, because in 2 weeks, the war powers stuff comes into play, and Trump truly has to explain why we're in this thing. Otherwise, it's got to stop. So he's just trying to get in all this killing in under the
Are,
wire, and it's
are you
getting more
certain about that?
embarrassing.
Wouldn't it just be that they just want to be included so that they will actually give him the authority either way? They just
Well,
want to be
technically,
involved.
he could declare a ceasefire. Wait, I think don't quote me on this. It's somewhere between 7 and 10 days, and then
Mm.
start again.
I'm sweating like crazy. Oh, my wrists are killing me here.
13 minutes. It's still got more
Oh,
time to Joe.
Joe, you're in a
Well,
rush, man. The hunters are coming
it
for
has to
you.
bake, you know. I
Skateboards
still
aren't
need to make
in
it. I still
the
need to make
tour.
it 4 times as thin. Look at that. It's not going anywhere. Oh,
So if
oh
we
man.
all ever need to escape a desert type situation or being pursued, and Joe's doing the baking, leave him there and run ahead. I'm
And
just joking. I'm just joking.
the first air casualties have occurred. They shot down a F-15E and a A-10.
The first one is a 2-seater.
Was a what?
No, I think
Yes, it was a two-seat.
The
Well,
F-15.
was it? Oh, okay.
the current thing, yes, there were two. There's a weapons officer and the pilot, and one of them is still missing. They're still hunting them around, and then the Iranians are saying, "Well, we're going to track down this stuff." So they have a C-130, gunship, sort of floating around somewhere there to cover however they're going to get this person. But it's mainly, as been
That.
described by a bunch of people, it's mainly electronic. The way they're trying to track
Yeah.
down where this poor pilot, or navigator is. So.
A drop site on X posted a video and some pictures where you see like American helicopters over that area of Iran
Mm,
being refueled, which I kind of found shocking because I would have assumed that like you could use like the Iranians have like sort of like shoulder held like
oh, yeah.
surface-to-air
Well,
missiles. I was
it
surprised
does
that like they do
suggest.
that with such impunity.
Well, it does suggest the reality when you start looking at the whole map of this war. There's a lot of space that they're operating in, particularly in the South. It's they can't have everyone everywhere.
Right.
I think that's the advantage, is that they don't have a kind of ubiquitous, and they also pummeled a significant amount of the military. Although the claim is, of course, by Trump that we've there's obliteration too, that everything was, the air defense is gone, blah, 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 blah. But the current actual data from the Defense Department is that they've only hit 50% of their missile launchers. So they're still ready to go.
Right, that
They
came out
just
this
hit
morning.
everything.
That came out this morning. The intelligence assessment, because they had, like as you said, I think we talked about it last week.
Mm,
Like apparently, like even then they were saying they have no missile launchers left, but it doesn't really matter when you have like fortress missile cities buried in mountains with these like rail lines that you can launch from far and far
just
away.
yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
if
Oh,
they've
can
only,
you see my fingers?
yeah,
Damn.
There we go. There we
Should be
go.
about paper thin.
you're
Linen thin.
you're getting there. But don't worry, they're still a few doors away.
Got to get this sucker in
Uh,
the oven real quick.
yeah, there we go.
Oh,
One thing I wanted to also mention is there's a lot of reporting in the media about like, brave European tankers or supply ships braving the
Uh,
Hormuz Pass. That's not true. They all paid $2
yeah.
million to Iran.
It
They played the
it they're
toll and they're leaving. That's all it
it,
is.
it's just stupid. I mean, all they do is, you pay 1 million or 2 million for the code, whatever transponder code or whatever, when they challenge you, you've got the little thing, and and it's being paid not in dollars, but in, won. So it's all Chinese money, or at least in one level, it's some other currency. So there's not a decent way to sort of keep track of it. So yes, of course, you're only getting 20 ships a day or whatever, but it's still flowing. Stuff's going on. It's just it's sort of
And
absurd.
and it prevents the rest of the world getting as insanely angry at Iran
Oh,
as the
yep,
US wants them to be. It's very brilliant
exactly.
because 2
It
million bucks, who cares? Like
yeah.
considering that like each one of these tankers or the cargo ships, one I read one report where like a cargo ship can hold $12 billion worth of merchandise. Like it's crazy. So why wouldn't you pay two to go to be able to sail?
Hey, that's, I mean, it is a fragile system, but and it's clearly not running at capacity. But I think everyone is waiting out the next, 2 weeks or whatever, and till it calms down a little bit. And of course, there's all kinds of other stuff on in the background relative to, Gulf countries, and it is
There's a lot of
oh, I got
it's
to butt
really
in.
significant
weird.
I
observations.
don't have time. I have to butt in. I'm going to give it a little
Carry on.
Norwegian touch with this little crinkle roller to give it a
Nice.
little
It's
bit
like
of
a
a nice.
cylinder seal.
Yeah. And then
It looks biblical, like a scroll.
Indeed.
almost paper thin. Now we got to take our fork. Then I'll slice it into a nice square, or you could just leave it round like this for a more rustic look. So the poking with the fork will prevent air bubbles from popping, hopefully, or that's the purpose, anyways. That's it. Okay. How many can we get out of here? I'll just throw those on here.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah. There we go.
Ooh, sweating buckets here. Okay, we've got 6 minutes. So
You might live.
we'll get
That no, it's great job,
Yes.
Joe.
Let's see. Flipper.
We should also point out what's happening in Lebanon right now
Ah,
is
Uh,
like talk about a war crime. It's ethnic
mm,
cleansing. It's I mean, who was it? One of the ministers said that I think it was Smotrich that he wants to turn South Lebanon into Rafah. And that's exactly what they've done. They've
yep.
up to the Litani River, and they're beginning to besiege the ancient city of Sur or Tyre.
Mm.
Um, and they've leveled all like everything. It just I don't know. It to me is breathtaking that like ostensibly even Republicans are supposed to be human beings. That's what we were led
Well,
to believe when we were growing up. I know it was a fairy tale, but
we're
these
being
people are trying.
distracted by the war because at the same time, there's that new law that the Likud passed that, the death penalty only applies to Palestinians and not to Israelis,
mm,
right? So there is this,
Mhm.
sort of dual apartheid justice that's already being, sort of implemented. And it
mm.
is
Oh,
differentiate. It's not very differentiating, and it sort of gives more power to military courts, um,
mm.
which
Well,
Well,
are
they're
being only
only
applied to Palestinians.
yeah, they're only under military courts in the
Right, right.
the
West
Palestinians,
Bank.
but the settlers, if settlers kill somebody, then they go to a civilian court in Israel. But the sick thing, the twisted thing about that is, ostensibly, this is like the
Maybe.
suicide bomber law or something like that. Like most of these actions, if you're a Palestinian doing some kind of action that imperils or threatens Israeli lives, they are generally suicide missions. So this is not targeted towards militants per se as general population.
Yeah, it's just
Yes,
so that you will never, ever, ever even think of fighting back.
Uh,
right.
What if I accidentally kill this guy? You know?
okay,
Right? Like
now
seriously, like you can shove someone and they can break their neck, you know? Like there any kind of violence, it's just trying to shut it down completely. Same way that they do with speech.
oh, it's going
Yeah.
almost there. So I think I
So
will throw it in. It's doing quite nicely, but
yeah.
I think we want to maybe. It's still, if I leave them on here, they're not going to be done in time. So I'm going to throw them into the oven real quick here to just finish them off. And I probably
Good.
have time to make another batch, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hmm?
There we go.
I was thinking I might have to use um, baking paper, parchment paper. So you can
Mm.
do if you don't have a big sheet of plastic like this or something slippery baking
Mhm.
In
thing.
ancient Egypt, they used papyrus.
Yes, of course.
Oh man. Yeah. Reeds. Oh God. They still are sending some military support into the combat area. So there's another logistics ship that's coming, and they had a pre-positioned um, a cargo ship that's at Diego Garcia that has like 60 M1 tank or whatever M1A2 tanks on it. So if they really wanted to invade, they could, but it would take more than 50,000 in order to get it sort of to work properly. They were never intending on invading because we'd have to put what 200, 300, 500,000 people,
Hmm.
troops to get this to happen. And so it's all a fake, a fake invasion, a fake war. Yet, people are still dying. I think the casualty list, the American casualties were thick. It's up to 300 wounded, and now it's 13 or 14 deaths, which is kind of low considering how much ordnance is flying around. There's a certain fairly high proportion of people who are injured have very serious injuries, so there hasn't been a kind of attention paid to that. That's a whole nother set of questions. And of course, now that they're trying to destroy the Veterans Administration, there's going to be that kind of other side of how else can they shoot themselves in the foot in terms of covering these kinds of things? So that's kind of where we are. The cost estimate is something like $1 to $2 billion a day for this war. So we're looking at a day. And this is not making this stuff up. This is like really using real numbers.
And Prof. N, that's just the American expenditure, not the money that they fronted Israel and the money they fronted the Gulf states. The Gulf states haven't paid for the new munitions yet. Like they are in a state of stasis right now because their economy, if this goes on much longer, their refineries will be gone. They won't have income for the next 10 years.
Yep.
Well, matzah's finished. We've made it in time. Rabbi, will this work for the Seder?
It looks a little overdone, if you ask me.
I think I'll make another batch. Oh, we got the crispy.
Oh, you got that crisp, though. You got that matzah crisp. That's
all right. There we go.
God will
very
forgive
crunchy.
you.
Nice rye taste. Subtle rye taste.
Snap.
Could use a bit more rye, if I could be honest. All right, let's try to not burn them this time.
Professor Ann, I wanted to ask you about something. What do you make of these negotiations and deals that Zelensky has worked out in the last week when touring the Gulf monarchies? He signed some kind of deal where he'll offer them experts to operate the Ukrainian drones, which hunt other drones. But my understanding of it, like even though he's signed these deals, is that Ukraine needs all their experts themselves. So it's sort of like I don't like what is your read of it? I don't know what to make of it.
Well, a lot of it is just structural in terms of these promising aid. It serves a kind of de facto mutual aid, even though it's not technically a mutual aid. It is. These agreements are at least one way of sustaining support and particularly drawing a line in the sand between the Russians and the Iranians and all the other folks, all the other types. And I mean, it covers. I mean, I think there was something about drones in Transnistria. So there's a whole bunch of other kind of weird subplots going on.
This is the most like Eastern Slavic European treaty between between Arabs. This is like 13th Warrior, like Ibn Fadlan making contact. It's such a weird deal.
Okay, batch number 2, ready to go. Let's go. Ready, go. Oh, start. Oh, start. Start. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Wait, you should have 16 minutes now. It's your second chance.
Oh.
Joe, are you all right, son? Are you okay?
We should talk about the schedule. We've already hit 8 o'clock. So.
Absolutely.
Is the nurse there somewhere in the room, Joe?
I don't know if we have a night shift in this house. I'm the night shift.
Blow dart handy?
Oh, God.
Relax, Joe, it's all superstition, right?
Oh.
Oh, man.
And you haven't even gotten to the firings. Don't you have something to rant about here? With
oh, God, we didn't get to talk about Pam.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, the writing has been on the wall, actually. I mean, he wanted to fire her months ago. It is weird to me that he waited this long to do it. But, you know, uh, he was just, he just reached his sort of end point. But I think it's also because Trump is now, as some people described it, is bored with the war and the fact that the war was there sort of to distract us from Epstein. And, it's just turning. Trump is just, it's all about it. Trump's done this before, is to, go in and sort of do something that makes it appear as like the like the reality show that it is, to distract us. And so the firing is sort of that. And so the Beltway people will get kind of all agitated about, well, who's going to be the next attorney general? And so everyone's doing their short list and handicapping whether idiots like Janine Pirro are going to become the next AG, or Eileen Cannon, even though Todd Blanche is probably going to be the AG. I mean, he's going to function now as the acting AG, which is so Trumpian. You put someone in who's an acting person who's not accountable to, the Congress, and sort of, just do crap, which is kind of what's going on.
Personal defense lawyer as attorney general. This is banana republic shit. Like,
it
it's
is
crazy.
But he whined about this in the first term. He really wanted his own lawyer, and he couldn't even get Bill Barr to do it. Even though Bill Barr sort of did the best he could, that's kind of what happened. It's sort of strange, I guess, in that sense.
And before we do the announcements, I should fill you guys in with some hot gossip.
All right.
I spoke with a couple of like political podcaster friends of mine. So the rumor is this: we've all heard Kristi Noem got fired, and we know about her affair, and we all know in the last week about her husband's weird kink. All right, I'm not gonna kink shame the guy, whatever. Man.
And we know
I don't know
about
what
her
that would do
dog.
in my brain.
We know about her goats
but
and her dog.
yeah,
And the
so
dog.
those pictures got leaked. But the rumor, and I think you guys are going to see this next week, the rumor is that it was Kristi Noem herself who leaked those pictures to TMZ, because what she wants is a public reason for a quickie divorce. And she's watched too many Hollywood movies, because her plan apparently is to marry Corey Lewandowski and thus give her spousal privilege. The problem is, and I got litigious with this for you guys. I spoke to lawyers, American lawyers. I know and respect, good ones. And they all told me, and they all laughed about that. Yes, spousal privilege might be able to, depending on how hard the federal government pushes the case, might be able to protect her in a federal criminal trial. However, in congressional hearings, spousal privilege is not a thing.
That doesn't apply.
Still go to jail for this.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep.
I hope both of them.
Well, the worst, of course, or the lowest version of this is that there's a contempt of Congress, and she'll have to spend X number of months, just like Steve Bannon, in the clink. So it's not like you're really getting retribution for this stuff. So it won't compress kind of like that. Although, and Lewandowski, his wife is a 9/11 widow of some kind. So there's like all kinds of other strange complications that are part of this. I don't know.
His wife's a 9/11 widow? These people have too much drama. Like, Walt was right. They're just weird. Like,
it is weird. It's reality TV. I mean, they're doing it. It's kayfabe or whatever, kayfabe, however they describe it, and kind of that's what's going on. Kayfabe. It keeps going on, and it's not getting any better. Let's put it that way. So Congress is still annoyed.
This ain't
The
getting any
Epstein
easier.
stuff isn't,
Second time around.
no, it doesn't look like it. Still got to roll those things out, Joe. Anyway, we should get
I'm
to.
worried. I'm worried. I'm salting it with my sweat.
Well, it'll still be salty.
Good job, Joe.
John Bennett. Sweaty bread.
So,
Before the announcements, I'm gonna say it's always a pleasure, guys. As I let my dog out.
Thank you,
I'll be back in a
Arjun.
minute.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank
I love
you.
you guys. And hopefully
Deep into
I'll see
history,
you guys
Arjun.
next week. And if
Okay.
the world doesn't blow up.
Later.
Could go wrong.
Kolchak the Night Stalker, I think, is coming up at in 20 minutes, I think. And John, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Certainly.
10 minutes.
Yeah, so tonight on The Night Stalker, a promising young politician has made a deal with the devil to gain the ability to kill those running against him in ways made to look like accidents. And that young politician is played by Tom Skerritt.
All right.
And it's a pretty good one, I'd say. Yeah.
Excellent.
What supernatural excuses is Kolchak going to use to moita someone?
Pixies. Pixies, this one.
God.
What's the episode called, John?
It's called The Devil's Platform.
Nice
Interesting
70s,
title.
disco, 70s disco boot reference.
Platform shoes?
Platform like
Yeah.
political platform.
All right, not like Elton John's big boots on
Platform shoes. After that is Cinemattack with Silicon Valley. Travis will grace us with that. I don't know if Travis wants to talk about that. Saturday.
Good episode.
Oh, well, okay. It is a wonderful series, and people should. I mean, there's the twists and turns of Silicon Valley are always interesting because you can still, as even though someone might think that it's dated, the same structural kinds of issues still occur within the context of places like Silicon Valley. So you can see sort of the tech bro sort of context. And Mike Judge does an incredible job, sort of assembling the kind of tech subculture or whatever. But anyway, thank you, Travis.
It really reflects on the book that we're reading every Monday by Nate in Wisconsin.
Yes. Palo Alto, history of Palo Alto, and not even to halfway through the thing yet, I think, or we're about halfway through. It's really an interesting book because it does explain a lot of why certain politics are the way they are. And you can see the kind of the seamy underbelly of certain other things that are kind of scary, like eugenics stuff, Neuralink, the other evil side of SRI. There's all kinds of stuff going on there that you can see still, relate to today. And Silicon Valley sort of activates some of the there's all kinds of nice things that we've got seeing interface. Anyway. Let me finish up with the schedule. Fast Show is on at 5 on tomorrow on Saturday. I don't know if.
Well, I don't think it's going to be the Fast Show. It's going to be a new series of something or other. I might be doing, if I can find it, I might do Blackadder Goes Forth, the final series set in World War One in the trenches.
Cool.
It's very funny,
yes.
Even though it's not.
Yeah. Well, the Great War is, you don't. It's hard to do comedy with the Great
Turns
War.
out it wasn't that great.
However, John, it did end all wars.
Oh, well, that was good.
Yeah, that's right.
fortunate. Yes.
Yeah, we've got
That's
to be
comforting.
grateful
That's
for
very,
something. Yeah.
Yes.
that's
Put a
very
nail
comforting.
in, put a nail in that coffin.
Mm.
Indeed. At 7 o'clock, there's Saturday Night Theater, but I don't know who's showing what, when, or how. Perhaps somebody wants to talk about that. John
Susanna made,
or
I
Susanna?
think if she's in the audience.
Oh, yeah. Who's
Susanna?
I had an idea, but I'm not happy with the print, so I'm going to pass on my idea this time around.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We'll probably have something. There's some good things, and John has some stuff in the hopper because last week or what it was, we saw some pretty good stuff. So there's that. There's music after that, of course. On Sunday with Susanna, there's the Columbo episode, commentary episode, which always is kind of strange and interesting. So it's the episode I think is called "Watch It for Days," and so and the commentary is really always kind of interesting, simply because it's someone who's kind of whatever, very interested an interested party in how the narrative operates. So there's that. Now at 6 o'clock this is important because things are moving pretty quickly, including the fact that the Vice President of the United States is going out there to sort of lobby for or whatever elector support certain parties, Orban in Hungary. So Anna will give us the update on Hungary, which is really interesting now because the polling shows that Orban's in big trouble. So it has all kinds of other interesting implications. So we're looking forward to that. If Anna's here, if she wants to talk about that, Anna?
Yeah, that's all. Last update on Hungary before the elections. And it feels like now or never. This is the time to get rid of Orban.
Get the bastard
One
out.
hopes.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless
seriously.
J.D. Vance does his magic and,
like he did the Pope.
Well, like he did in the Pope. Oh, God.
Liz Truss killed the Queen, and J.D. Vance killed the Pope, and
there we go.
Oh, I got 3.5 minutes to spare. I think I'll throw it in the oven just to... Susanna, what episode of Columbo is this? Which Moira?
It's episode 5, Lady in Waiting.
Which
one?
All
right. Has Leslie Nielsen in it.
Yes.
And Susan Clark.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember one with the title as well, not just the characters. I always forget the titles of these episodes.
Oh, man.
I don't think you'll forget her ensembles in this. Susan Clark's fashion statements.
Yes.
So the times are weird in the newsletter. People should sign up for the newsletter if nothing else. But so, what time is the update on Hungary? There's the Columbo thing is at 2:30. Is the update at 4? Is the update at 4 on Hungary?
Yes, an hour before Columbo.
All right, because it doesn't say that in the newsletter. But anyway, at 5 o'clock, so 4 o'clock on Hungary, 5 o'clock, Star Trek, Next Generation, the concluding episode of the Best of Both Worlds Part 2, right, John?
Yes, that is correct. We get the exciting conclusion. We left off with Captain Picard being turned into a Borg, and all of his knowledge looks like he's going to use against the Enterprise, which is very scary.
Yes, indeed.
Like Superman versus evil Superman.
I mean, and as I said, is implied by these 2 episodes, and it was a cliffhanger. It does have implications for all kinds of other narrative arcs in the Star Trek series, etc. what's going to happen after that, Lane?
Now, I'm still thinking of sticking on the Goons trip. So I might either do a Goons night or a Spike Mulligan night. But I'm thinking of actually doing through the week, playing the Goons radio series from episode 1. So I'll pick a time through the week, and I'll actually plan something in. Me, I don't plan things.
Excellent.
So we're going to start listening to the Goons through the week. It's lovely, brilliant, all radio, no video, and it's funny. Takes your mind away into a little world of fantasy. That's very hilarious. So Sunday is either going to be Spike Milligan, himself, or the Goons as an entity. I'm not sure yet. Goons related.
All right, Joe.
Made it. Two batches of two matzah crackers. Matzah. This is the more traditional way to do it. Just one big round, same as the Norwegian flatbread. But I got to work on my technique here. This is
my nuts are crackers as well.
That looks like the nouns I bought the other day.
Yeah, it looks like naan bread.
Would you like an update on the?
That looks really good, Joe. Good job, man.
In Iran.
Oh, go ahead, Lane. We still have a little time.
With the schedule.
Yeah.
I just.
I was going to cover that Monday is we're reading Palo Alto by Malcolm Harris at 8:00 Eastern time on Monday. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, just quick, because I know you did announce it, but I just wanted to add something.
Sure.
As people can remember, it's really a joint presentation from Laurel and myself. Give her credit also. But meanwhile, Harsh has been keeping me abreast of that Stanford is still at it, developing AI agents that simulate human behavior with high accuracy. And now they are going to use these digital agents that not only mimic human decision making, but provide new opportunities for social science research. These AI agents can be used to run large-scale simulations, societal behavior, offering scalable and cost-effective alternative to traditional field experiments and surveys, stuff that they use to talk about and try and form policy. I was never that crazy about that kind of research, but now it's lunatic.
Wait, you think they're going to be less reliable? You think they're going to be less reliable than college students? Getting interviewed?
Well, the worst side of it is to start basing this kind of agent-based sort of behaviorism into, what is it? Elon Musk is trying to do robots, right? Or Neuralink. So if you get sort of this integration, you get something that's very clone-like, right? So all of this can be sort of integrated together, and at some bright and shining moment in the future, clones or something, robots or androids. So that's what they want. Ultimately, that's what they want. Yes, it's Skynet. It is. It's the
South
Genesis
African
version
Skynet.
of it.
Well,
yes, absolutely.
Just to prove your point, Mr. Starmer wants Britain to be the first country where the government infrastructure is completely run by AI.
Oh, Jesus.
What
Wait,
Lane,
sorry, since we have a second, Lane, can you answer a question for me? And I'm sure everyone has wondered this, all right?
He's not
Keir Starmer, can't tell. Sometimes he looks like a fat hobbit, and other times he looks normal. I can't tell, and I can see him 3 times a day, and I don't know. So is he fat or not?
Arjun, take it from a fat hobbit. Take it from a fat hobbit. He's not a fat hobbit. He's what we call in this country stout.
Thank you.
What about
right?
What about
you ran this by him before? I just my last sentence is that because of what Harsh has been sharing with me, we're chewing over reintroducing some form of fun and loathing.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. So the show, the old show, Fun and Loathing.
Okay.
I mean,
Go ahead.
a whole lot has happened since the last one of those. The whole revolution of agents.
Yeah. So at any rate, I'm good to go. But thank you for indulging.
No problem. I don't know if Bruce is here to talk about the Red Hour at 7 o'clock on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm here.
Bruce.
Short story by H.G. Wells called The Apple. It's a kind of a philosophical fable, basically, which we will discuss. We'll listen to a reading and then discuss after. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern.
After that will be Good News, everyone, with John.
Wait. I protest the name of the segment.
Bruce still doesn't get it.
That's okay. I do too.
You're sick of all of the good news?
Oh, man. Let me close by saying, well, on Wednesday, I will do my usual 6 p.m. Sort of Wednesday office hour where I will try and explain certain things about Marx's transformation problem and the temporal single system model. But anyway, and I know that will put people to sleep. Enough in time for spirituality and activism at 8:30. Not sure what's going to be there. If anyone can fill in, that's fine. But it's usually 8:30 on Wednesday, and Thursdays have Bring the News at 7 p.m. So I've actually done a full week schedule, which is the first time I've actually done that. And we have 5 minutes left. So, and we're about ready to go, and we had really nice bread or crackers or whatever. Oh, that's right. It's not bread. It's
unleavened.
Unleavened. Yes, absolutely. We will try and do better next week.
You don't want a brief update on the aeroplanes?
Carry
on.
on.
Brief update. The F-15 that got shot down was from Lakenheath in Britain. There were 2 Jolly Green Giant 2s, the HH-60 Paveway, who were part of the rescue operation, got shot to shit, and they got back though. But there's folks wounded apparently within that crew. An F-16 has declared emergency over Iraq. That could be a systematic thing. It might not be a result of an attack. 2 KC-135s the same, but they're an old platform, so that could be engineering rather than an MB5 or anything. And that apparent there's
AC-10.
That A-10 that got shot down. Apparently they're saying there was 2 shot at. One got shot down, and the other one limped back. But now they're going back to saying there's one. So I don't know what the crack is. But
what kind of plane is that?
That's the Warthog.
The Warthog,
AKA
whatever,
the
Lightning 2. Yeah.
AKA the flying bathtub, the Thunderbolt.
It's it's built around a gun, essentially a Gatling gun, a 30 millimeter Gatling gun.
Gun and a Kevlar cockpit. So even if the plane gets shot to shit, the pilot won't ever get hurt. Right? This is blown up literally.
It's really.
Are they using Puff the Magic Dragon still?
Yep.
Which one is that? I can't remember from all my Vietnam
it's the
reading.
it's the AC-130 gunship. They're using that for the search and rescue. Spooky. It's used for rescue operations, but it is one of the more interesting airplanes because it has a 105 millimeter howitzer in it. So you're essentially using artillery firing at the ground. And it has a couple of 40 millimeter Bofors guns. It's pretty interesting.
And an interesting fact about the crews of those AC-30s: they call humans zombies.
There we go. All right. I think we're finished with aircraft report. I think it's time to go, Joe.
All right. Yes.
We'll try to do better next week. Bye.
Bye.